Here at Felton Angus Ranch, we focus on selling bulls to the commercial cow man. We focus on raising a bull that's not overly fed, you know, greener than most people would, if you know, to put it in a cowman's terms. You know, they're loaded with muscle, and they've got stretch and length and depth, and you know, they freewheeling bulls. They're not short coupled. They'll get out and cover some country and breed some cows, and you know, I think that's what our specialty is, and that's what we like to focus on, is keep the customer happy, you stay in business.
Hello and welcome to today's show. We're heading north to Felton Angus Ranch in beautiful Montana, where we'll visit again with the father and son team of Richard and Jim Felton and see their working class seed stock operation. Year after year, Felton Angus Ranch continues to breed and send forth very reliable, growthy Angus cattle in ranching operations all across the nation. We'll see some good cattle on the show today and talk with stockmen that know these genetics from years of use. The Springdale, Montana area is a remote and remarkably scenic part of our nation that's situated among the mountains that lead into the northern end of Yellowstone Park, and we'll show you some of that as well. It's hardy Angus livestock and gorgeous big sky country on this episode of The American Rancher. I'm Pam Minnick. We're glad you joined us. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Join the nation's hottest cattle marketers and the nation's hottest cattle convention, the 2015 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show in sizzling hot San Antonio. Stop by the Superior booth to find out how we top the market in all aspects of livestock marketing. From internet auctions to national television broadcast, we offer it all. Be sure to remember the Alamo and remember Superior Livestock for all your livestock marketing needs.
February 6, 2015 at noon Central Time, Spring Valley Ranch will offer 75 two-year-old forage raised registered Angus bulls at the Burwell Livestock Market and on Superior Click to Bid. Timeless Angus genetics for today's cattle producer.
No storm is too powerful for new Purina Wind and Rain Storm Minerals, formulated with ultimate weather resistance. That means more minerals in the feeder and available to your cattle. Wind and Rain Storm Minerals provide more consistent intake and balanced mineral nutrition to optimize herd health and breedback rates. See the difference at your local Purina dealer or visit cattlenutrition.com. Wind and Rain Storm Minerals, another way Purina is building better cattle.
At 44 Farms, we believe work starts at sunup and doesn't stop until sundown. We believe in order to live off the land, you have to love and respect it. We believe that cattle aren't just raised, they're nurtured. And we believe when you do things right, with honesty and integrity, well, things like quality and consistency happen naturally. 44 Farm Steaks, responsibly raised all-natural beef.
Welcome back to The American Rancher. Felton Angus Ranch steadily maintains an independent approach to raising cattle. The family began raising notable beef cattle in the early 1950s and has become established as an outcross bloodline program within Angus circles. Richard and Jim Felton keep working their plan that is working for many commercial cattlemen.
Hi, I'm Jim Felton. This is my wife, Susan, our daughter, Sydney, and our other daughter, Quincy, and my dad, Richard. We welcome you to Felton Angus Ranch. Here at Felton Angus, we feed our cattle a pretty high roughage-based diet. A lot of ground hay, some corn silage. This year, due to the fact that corn is relatively cheap, I am feeding some byproduct from the ethanol industry, DDG, and they get some molasses and a mineral package. But I think being that we're not a lot of concentrate, a lot of roughage, that leads itself to you know, why these bulls are so sound and why they hold up for everybody.
Felton Angus is a family operation that ranches in both Miles City and Springdale, Montana. They began raising registered Angus cattle in 1952 and steadily grew from there to their present standing as a quality breeder with a working class mindset. They handle the vast majority of their own chores and really enjoy relating to cattlemen.
I think the cattlemen keep coming back to Felton Angus Ranch because our bulls work. I'm getting a lot of reports again this year from Wisconsin to Oklahoma, Colorado, and Montana, Wyoming. You know, it doesn't matter what area in the country we send them to. Everybody says, wow, we're real happy with these bulls. You know, they're out doing their job out in the country. If the cows are out in the hot Oklahoma sun and humidity, the Felton bulls are there. They're not laying in the pond or shaded up like, I guess, some of these other bulls people are buying. So it makes us feel good.
In the 1800s, the Felton family came to Montana from the Carolinas and lived in several parts of the western half of the state. Raymond and Margaret Felton farmed about Charlo in the 1940s and had an active milk cow business. Their sons, Maurice and Richard, migrated out of the dairy cattle business and began selling Angus bulls about Missoula during the 1950s. There, they would top the local markets with the cattle they raised.
Well, we've been in the business here for 60 years, and we have a lot of local support. We try to serve those people with the best genetics we can find, the most complete bulls. We want them to have high maternal traits, good carcass quality, and very good docility. Yeah, both of our ranches are pretty steep and rugged, and we like it that way because when these bulls leave here, their chances are they're going to go into some more country just like it, steep, rugged, and they'll do fine there. And then if they go into an easier doing country, they'll do great there. So that's kind of what we strive for, is to make these cattle rugged.
The Felton's prime cow herd is located at their Miles City Ranch. The Springdale, Montana ranch was purchased by the Feltons in 1972 and is their present-day sale location. The bulls and heifers are fed and cared for at the Springdale operation. The Feltons run a working-class type outfit in terms of operation and attitude. They raise their registered Angus like commercial stockmen. The cattle range in very big and rugged country where the winters are quite cold. The vast majority of the Felton customers are commercial cattlemen.
The Felton bulls are just, they're easy keepers. You don't even notice they're there. They're all doing their own thing, aggressive for looking for open cows, cows in heat. They're on top of it. They don't waste time. We were very pleased with it. What we've noticed a huge improvement in is our weaning weights by tenfold. I mean, we've probably gained 100, 150 pounds on weaning weights. Some of the biggest weaning weights we've had by far.
Conception rate on our cows has been very good. I think we hit probably 99% this year after Craig checked, so it was real good. We're real happy with that.
Bred back fast and on time.
Yep.
The calves, the minute they hit the ground, they're up and at them, looking for that udder, looking for milk. They don't waste any time. We had quite a few new heifers in the herd this year, never pulled one calf. The calving ease is just excellent, awesome.
The Feltons invite you to join them for their 42nd annual production sale on Monday, February 9th, beginning at 12:30 p.m. Mountain at their auction facility located on I-90, 1 mile west of Springdale. This year, the offering includes 130 coming 2-year-old bulls, 85 fall bulls, all fertility tested. There will also be 40 bred heifers that are ready to work for you.
These are some of our bred heifers we'll be offering in the Felton Angus Ranch sale on February 9th. As you can see, they're a nice uniform set of bred heifers. We get a lot of repeat buyers on these heifers. They come back every year and buy 10 to 20 of them every year. We just got these bred heifers off pasture 3 days ago. This is basically the first hay I fed them. And they've just basically been eating, as my dad would say, grass and snowballs. So I think they've held their flesh quite well. We're real tickled with them. I think they'll make somebody a one whale of a set of cows.
Felton Angus is an independent-minded operation that has maintained itself as an outcross genetic source. The solid Angus bloodlines they use and propagate are not seen in a lot of other places. Sometimes it can be hard for a rancher to get something different in his herd. This is where Felton genetics come in. The Felton program on the whole is an outcross program that contains some mainstream genetics. The program has been built by selecting and breeding bulls that are long and carry plenty of rib, have a big scrotal area, and are clean made and travel well. They respect EPD numbers while showing equal regard for phenotype. They say the thickness of their bulls is bred on, not fed on.
So, I mean, cattle can't be cupcakes, you know. I mean, they've got to have some grit and toughness in them. And like one customer in Southwest Montana says, your bulls, they're just a little bit tougher than everybody else's. So I think it's the way we raise them. We don't pamper them. I mean, we expect them to go out in the hills and make a living. They're not living under a center pivot or something getting fat. So
the Felton herd sire battery, as you might expect, has been developed on the principles and traits that Richard and Jim know will work for their customers. Cattle that possess top, that are easy fleshing, and have growth, as well as calve successfully. They sustain a consistently productive set of bloodlines that will work and provide outcross bursts to most cow herds. The Feltons have been in the Angus business for a long time. To coin a phrase, they are the producers of working class cattle for the working class rancher. Their genetics are not known everywhere, nor are they being publicized on the cover of the latest beef journals. Their program is all about stock that will range and rustle a living and breed and produce calves that will put pounds on the ground.
We kind of pride ourselves in producing a product here that goes out and works, covers the country, gets these guys' cows bred up in a timely fashion. I would say we're pretty independent here at Felton Angus Ranch. People get the catalog, they see the American Rancher, and they request a catalog, and we ship them one, and then they call you back and say, wow, your catalog's like a breath of fresh air to us, because I've never seen this stuff before. You can come here and get something different, and if you're running a bunch of cows that are bred to EXT and a bunch of Traveler and stuff like that, you can go buy a bunch of bulls here that don't have that in it or very little of it, and it'll diversify your genetics in your herd.
The Feltons understand the value of cattle that work and directly know how maintenance factors into a cattle operation. They do their own chores and endeavor to raise beef cattle that will not increase the workload of their customers by requiring an overload of attention and oversight.
That's kind of our philosophy. We kind of want a trouble-free cow, trouble-free cattle. Stockmen that use Felton bulls, they're looking to sell feeder cattle that weigh up. The more pounds you put on a truck every fall, the more money you're going to make. Dad likes a lot of length in the cattle, and if you've got cattle that are built right with a lot of length, if they're built like a block of salt, they're thick, but they're short coupled, they're going to have hard calving. So If you give them a long product that stretches out, I mean, they can have, have a lot of meat in them, but if they're stretched out right, they're just going to shell right out of them cows, and your calving problems are not going to, it's not going to affect your calving, and you're just getting a bunch of free pounds. They're getting a tough animal, they're getting results in the calf crop, they're getting out cross, and I think that's why they come here.
Joining me now is Katie Kaufman, host of Superior Sunrise. Felton Angus has always purposed their operation to be a source of genetics that ranchers can depend on. They really aren't concerned with taking the headlines in the latest breeder circle journals. Those of you that met them know what I mean.
That's right, Pam. The focus is set on the commercial cowman and keeping him in business. And I know that you'll agree with me that Felton Angus and Jim and Susie especially, they love social media. And that's where I first really got to know them, was through Facebook and Twitter. And I think it's really neat to see, as you and I have seen also through social media, for so much of your business to grow in that regard. And I know that Felton Angus has really capitalized on that, and it's neat to see the outreach from returning customers as well as new customers because of Facebook.
And it keeps them all connected. Thanks, Katie. When we come back, we'll talk more with the Feltons and their customers. This is The American Rancher. Stay with us.
The wait is over. Superior Livestock is now offering an online store where you can buy everything Superior. From ball caps, vests, jackets, gloves, and more, Superior's online store has what you're looking for. Plenty to choose from for men and women, whether you're shopping for yourself or in need of that perfect gift. Go online today at superiorlivestock.com and click on our online store. You'll be glad you did.
Join your fellow cattlemen in sizzling hot San Antonio for the 2015 Cattle Industry Annual Convention and NCBA Trade Show. It's the beef industry's biggest convention, and it's great for education, networking, and fun. Plus, you can check out the NCBA Trade Show for the latest technology. It's the 2015 Cattle Industry Annual Convention and NCBA Trade Show in sizzling hot San Antonio, Texas, February 4 through 7. Visit beefusa.org for more.
Do you want quality, longevity, and predictability in your herd? You'll find these genetics at the Spring Valley Ranch Angus Bull Sale on February 6th. Foundation Angus genetics bred and developed to thrive on the range, offering 75 forage-raised 2-year-old Angus bulls. The auction will be held at noon Central Time at the Burwell Livestock Market, or bid online at Superior Click to Bid. Spring Valley Ranch, timeless genetics for today's producer.
Welcome back to The American Rancher. Felton Angus customers are long-standing repeat buyers. The reason is simple: they get results. Felton Angus are cattle that are bred to sire calves that will put pounds on the ground and get it done in the feedlot. Here's more on our story. The Feltons continue to enjoy a growing number of friends on their Facebook page. It's a great way of relating to friends, family, and customers. Jim and Susan continue to post photos and keep folks updated from the beautiful country where they ranch and make their home.
Here at Felton Angus Ranch, we're very involved with social media. You can follow us on Facebook and see what happens here day to day. Jim is very active on keeping people informed what's going on, and he takes videos and shows everybody what he's doing every single day, whether it's feeding cattle in the snow or farming, well into the night. He's very active on that. We also use Twitter here at Felton Angus Ranch, and Jim will send out tweets, and so you can follow us here at Felton Bulls.
The Feltons love the community about Springdale and support the youth there and stay active with the happenings around town.
We're very involved with community here at Felton Angus Ranch. We are on the county line between Sweetgrass and Park counties, so we are involved with both Big Timber and Livingston. We work with the 4-H and FFA groups. We support the kids as much as we can. We buy steers and lambs and hogs at the fair. We're getting ready to host a field day for the beef kids here at the ranch to work on what to do with their steers, how to feed them, how to interpret some of the genetic data that we produce. We
kind of have a vision of what we think a good cow is, and or a bull, and we just don't. There's a lot of fads in this business, and you know, the sire of the month and this and that, and you know, I don't know, we just we do our own thing, and some people probably don't agree with what we do in this industry, and that's fine with us. We're here to make our commercial cattle customers money, and I think we're doing a pretty good job of that. So.
Make plans for the Felton's 42nd annual production sale that comes your way Monday, February 9th at 12:30 p.m. Mountain, right here on Dish Network, Channel 232. The auction is brought to you by Superior Productions. The Feltons are great folks, and they invite you to take a look into these Angus genetics. They continue to be the working class producer for the working class rancher. We'd like to thank Felton Angus Ranch for a great show and the visit to their Montana operation. Jim and Susan invite you to friend them on Facebook. You can reach them by email, jim@feltonangus.com, or call them 406-932-6726. You can also reach Jim directly on his cell at 406-220-1177. For our customers in the Gulf Coast region, you can talk with Matthew Absher at 423-963-6153. For more information about us, visit our website, theamericanrancher.com, or check us out on Facebook. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Pam Minnick. For the entire American Rancher team, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.